Hey, what's up guys, Bryce here, and we're back at it again for another video, and welcome to the first video of iRacing League Racing. So here is the last round of the North American Racing League as I joined on the last round. Here's the start of the race. We gained a position there on the left hand side, but this first lap was absolutely chaotic. As you can see, we had to go on the grass there. And then now going down to the next few corners, cars going all over the place, and we make up a really good amount of positions there, and we had a pretty decent start. But this is the North American Racing League, and I did join towards the end of the season, so I thought I'd record this and post highlights. The next season starts in about a month, so I definitely will be posting that. And yeah, I just wanted to post this as highlights. This was a pretty good race. Going into this, I qualified in P11. So qualifying didn't really go the greatest. I just couldn't find the grip with the car and I couldn't really connect with it too well. But going into the race, it turned out very nicely. We are already in 5th place, so we gained quite a bit of positions at the start. And Donington Park in the Lamborghini is an absolute blast, and the Lamborghini is definitely just my favorite car. I'm more of a pointy type of driver. I like cars with a pointy front and just a light rear end, and this car definitely delivers that in terms of GT3. I can just drive this car with confidence and you know, just find the limit as quickly as I can. So that's what we're doing at Donington Park. I'm really excited for the next season to start, as I can make that into a series and do track guides for iRacing. I'm definitely gonna make a video on Portimao in F1 because that did come out, and that's a really awesome track that I can't wait to drive, as I have not driven it yet. This race was a week ago. I've been very busy, but I will be back at it again with videos posting. And going down to this right-hander is my favorite corner on the track. You really just have to attack that curb as much as you can. And I had a lot of off-tracks this race towards the end when I was pushing as hard as I could. For the first couple of laps, I was really just getting closer and closer and closer to this BMW in front of me. In the straights, we were about even, but the corners is what matters, and I was really able to just close in every single corner, which was really nice. And you can see the gap is already getting closer. I wish I had an overlay that I could put for these videos so you can really see the gaps, the position. I'm going to work on that, try to figure out what I can do. This chicane is an absolute nightmare if you get it wrong, but if you get it right, it is an absolute joy to take. Going down to the hairpin here, braking right when the track falls away from you, I tend to take more of a later apex. And climbing up this hill for the left-hander is a blast as well. You're going up this corner here, stay to the right, use that curb as much as you can, and get as close as you can to the grass. And I try to get kind of a mid-apex. There's a few lines you can take through there. The problem about taking a really late apex is that the track dips away from you and it's cambered, so it's kind of banked very, very slightly, so you'll slide a lot. So that's why I like to just go in and just attack that curb. I would say my driving style is kind of in the middle of being aggressive and smooth. In races, I'm more aggressive, I'd say, and in qualifying, I'm a little bit more smooth. But qualifying is definitely my weakness and something that I really need to work at. So that's going to be something that I'm going to work on. Race pace overall is pretty good. You know, I'm already in 5th and I'm catching these guys, but obviously there's a lot to work on in these races. And Donington Park is an awesome track, very difficult. Going up to this corner here, the amount of times I've gotten super close to that grass there, and I was worried that I would catch just a few blades of grass and spin the car would be bad, but I managed to keep it on the track every single lap. I had one little mistake, which you'll see towards the end, which was very crucial. Going down to the chicane once more, you really need to attack that inside curb, but the car will bounce like mad going into that corner. Now, going down to the hairpin once again, when the track dips away from you, make sure you brake and turn in and get on the gas as soon as you can and straight line the exit to that curb. And the BMW is slowly getting closer and closer. Braking right after that line, as soon as the whole car kind of passes that line, that's where I tend to brake. And again on the exit, and we're getting closer to this BMW. This race is 50 minutes long, so you really need to be consistent. And we skip ahead a few laps, and the BMW is right there. We're having a look down the inside. He goes a little wide. We're almost there next to him, but that power of the BMW is very good, so he's able to pull away, braking down to the hairpin. And again, I take a tighter line. As you can see, his car had a little bit of oversteer, but he was able to get a later apex and get on that gas sooner, which allowed him to get a little bit further in the straight. The power for the BMW is very good. Again, this BMW is in front of us, and I think this is where he made the mistake. No, you'll see in the next lap we did get by him from a slight mistake that I've actually done myself. But you can see we actually have a back marker here that moves over quite nicely. I was afraid that I'll hit him. I kind of missed the apex because of that, but he lost a bit of speed, and we are extremely close to him now. And we're just looking around the outside, which will soon be the inside for the next corner. And again, getting the late apex and getting on the throttle as soon as you can. Look how much speed this is giving us. We're getting closer and closer, but just not enough because the next corner is right up the road. And getting late apex is really key, especially on that corner there. I was able to gain a ton of time on him. A little bit of drag right here, and we're going to look down the inside once more, but we're not going to make a move just yet. We're going to be patient and just put as much pressure as we can. We need to let him know that our presence is here, and hopefully that pressure will get to him and he'll make a mistake. That's usually my strategy for these long races, and considering that I'm not in contention for the championship at all because this is the only race I've joined, just trying to make a mistake or let him make a mistake instead of doing something that is quite risky. So putting a lot of pressure on him, weaving, just making sure that he knows that I'm there, and he has to look in his mirrors quite often. Going into this corner here once more, braking right after that patch of dirt, and this is where I brake, and getting a late apex, hit that curb quite nicely, and he goes on the grass and he makes a mistake and goes off into that giant runoff area. It's pretty crazy how big that area is, but unfortunately he did make a mistake. I wish I would have been able to follow him longer. Just after this lap, we dive into the pits. That was an absolutely illegal pit stop right there, and this is what lost me the race. Not lose me the race, but I did lose a position and about 6 seconds because of this. My entry to the pits was super slow, and I did not practice the entry at all, so definitely going to be doing that for the next time. But my entry was super slow, and I lost a lot of time because of this, and we are just refueling right now. No tires, just fuel, so entry sucked. But coming out the pits, the exit was fine, but you can really, I could have carried a lot more speed into the entry, and you'll see here soon what that cost. So coming out of the pits now, I don't think we have anyone. We have an Audi there, which is the guy in 4th place. So currently I'm in 5th right now, and I should have come out in front of him, but you'll see here that when he goes for his pit stop, he actually comes out in front of me, which isn't right. So yeah, he's still in front of me. I should have been in front of him, but I screwed up the pit stop and he got it perfect, so that is obviously why he's in front. And this is the battle for, I think it's 3rd place, or yeah, I think this is the battle for 3rd place right here. And I'm in 4th, so all I need to do is pass him and I can get a podium for basically my first race. And yeah, I was pretty disappointed. I could have come out in front, but now we have to put in the work to either make him make a mistake or find a opportunity to pass him. So that's what we are doing here. Very quick driver, and I was actually decently close. We're around a second here, a little bit over a second, using all the track as much as we can. And I went wide a few times, and that really cost in terms of the penalties. I almost got a drive-through. I had about 12x, I believe. But again, just trying to use all the track as much as we can. And you can really, at least I could tell that I was just pushing the car a lot because I was using the curves more, going a little bit wide. And you have to be careful because sometimes the more you push, the slower you're going because you're not taking the optimal line, and you're focusing more on trying to brake as late as you can instead of trying to get on the gas as soon as you can. So that can really be a factor. Attacking this curb, and we made a slight mistake there. Attacked the curb too much, got a bit of oversteer, and now he's 3 seconds ahead of us. Fast forward about 10 minutes into the race, we gained the time back, and there's about 5 minutes left in the race, and there's some back markers which can play in our hands or not. It depends. If he can get caught up and we catch up to him and then I have to get by, and I easily get by, then this can play in our hands. But if I get stuck between him and the back marker, then this would be an issue. So we're gaining slightly time on him. I'm hoping that this back mark doesn't let him go by, and he does, and now I'm stuck behind this BMW, which was honestly terrible because I definitely lost a little bit of time here. but he moves over to the inside, and now the gap has opened up once more, and this was very disappointing. But again, we're going to push as hard as we can for this last 5 minutes of the race and do everything we can to close this gap down and see what we can do. Again, we're not in contention for this championship, but I still want this P3 just as bad as he does, braking extremely late for that corner, and we're able to clip the chicane and basically nail that, as he broke a little bit earlier because we closed on the gap just that ever so slightly. Focusing on getting a late apex in this corner. As you can see, he has a bit of oversteer and the car is sliding around. This is going to give us an advantage coming out this corner on the power as much as we can, and again, we're going to focus on keeping this momentum going. We have good momentum right now, and his momentum is a little bit off. As you can see, he goes wide, and now we're getting a late apex, and we're back on the gas, and we are right here under half a second behind this car. Momentum is very key. If you have the momentum and the other driver doesn't, you're going to be in good hands. As you can see here, he is just not as quick as he was before, and we are closing this gap down, which is very nice. And this is the last lap of the race, by the way. I remember this vividly, focusing on getting a late apex. We hammer the throttle right here once we hit that curb, and we're a little bit further back, but you will see right here how much time we gain, and we almost pass him just from getting a late apex. We are off the brake super easy. He goes wide. He made a little mistake. We're right behind him. We move to the inside going up this hill, and we're side by side going to this corner. A little bit of oversteer. He's still there on the left hand side, and now it's going to be a drag race to the chicane. His car pulls out just a little bit more than we can. The power on the Audi is pretty good, and he also got a better exit. We brake early. We let him get the chicane, trying to get a late apex, but he nailed that chicane perfectly, and we're gaining speed on him, but there's just not enough straight left to make a move. So we brake normally for this corner, and again, we get a late apex, and we're very close on the exit. If I had a few more laps, I would have loved to try to overtake him. I could have had more of a battle going into the chicane, but again, just wanted to be safe during this race, and we're very close there. And this is the last lap right there, and we come home to take P for a crazy last couple of laps. We could have passed him, but it didn't happen because it's one thing to catch but another to pass. Famous words. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support that I've gotten in the last couple days and last couple weeks. It's been great, and I'm super excited to post more content. Hopefully you enjoyed this iRacing video. I cannot wait to start racing more, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.